What's up guys, Brad here, aka the Swift Trickster, and today I'm going to be doing a short little video talking about the PlayStation 4.5 or PlayStation 4K. So this is a topic I'm quite interested in, and it's also been very popular over the last couple months. So I'm just going to get straight into it, talk about a couple things about it, and yeah, so here we go. So Sony is bringing out this new console probably this year. They're going to announce in October sometime, probably before the PlayStation VR headset is released. And it's pretty early to be releasing a new console in my opinion. Not really early, and I think everyone else thinks the same. Because it's only been 3 years since the PlayStation 4 came out. Now, the reason that this new console is coming out is because the PlayStation 4 just doesn't have the power in it to cope with games for many years into the future. You know, it'll die out way too early, and it already is pretty, far behind, way behind it technology-wise. So this is why Sony is bringing this new console out, and its big thing about it is 4K. So this console, it's been said to be, its focus has been on 4K gaming, which is pretty cool because 4K gaming at the moment isn't very, popular. I mean, only a few people have it. 4K gaming is quite expensive at the moment because you can only really play 4K games on a computer because no consoles have been able to do it 4K yet. So Sony is releasing this new console, and they're aiming at 4K. So this will be the first console for 4K gaming, which is pretty cool because at the moment, if you want to play 4K, it's going to cost you a lot of money to build a computer that is even capable to, even play it properly. If you want a good experience, you got to spend quite a bit of money. So this will be pretty cool if they can bring out a console that is accessible to everyone and they can play 4K games. So since it will be pushing out 4K, that means that this new PlayStation is going to have a lot more power under the hood, which is also a good thing for the PlayStation VR headset. Because PlayStation VR, well, VR in general actually, is not the easiest thing to run. I mean, the PlayStation 4 at the moment, uses the PlayStation VR quite well. I mean, it runs very smooth in that. But that's only for some small arcade games. In the future, the PlayStation VR headset may be used for, more intense games. Maybe some AAA games will take advantage of the headset. So you can be in one of those games, the highly detailed games, and you can be looking around in it. And the PS4 is not going to be able to handle that too well, unless they, unless it goes down to 30 FPS or something. I mean, you don't want 30 FPS when using a headset. You want a smooth experience when you're using VR, because when you're looking around, if it's slow and stuttery, you're not going to feel too good using it. So you want a smooth experience. So this new console will be great because it will have the power. If it's pushing 4K, it will be able to handle the VR headset quite well. And it'll be a smooth experience all round. And if this new console might even be able to compete with the virtual reality headsets like the Oculus Rift and maybe the HTC Vive on the computers, because the computers are quite powerful, and they've been using the headsets for a while now. But even some of the computers, you still need a beast of a computer to be able to take full advantage of the VR. So, this might be able to compete with VR on the computers. Probably not the HTC Vive, because that is, pretty advanced in terms of, VR experience. I mean, that is really high tech. The PS4, the PlayStation VR headset isn't like that, because I think you can't really move around. Walk around. You sort of just have to stay sort of in one place. So, yeah. Another thing is that games on the PS4.5. Now that's an interesting thing, because maybe down the track, since games are getting more powerful than that, the PlayStation 4.5 will be able to, handle it, since it will have that extra power. But what's going to happen to the PS4? Is the PS4 going to be limited? What will happen? they might have to, change things. So like maybe the PS 4.5. So this is just an example, okay? Maybe the PlayStation 4.5 will have a game that's running at 1080p and 60 frames per second, whereas the PS4 might have the same game but as at 1080p except at 30 FPS and maybe some lower details. I mean, they might have to do something like that because the game's getting more and more, graphics intensive. The PS4 is not going to be able to handle it in the future, whereas the PS 4.5 will. Now, another thing is that, if the PS 4.5, just is being used and taken advantage of and using all that technology, is the PS4 just going to be left out eventually? Is the PS4 going to die out? Because that would be really bad for the whole PlayStation ecosystem. So I'm pretty sure it'll be okay. They'll figure out something. But if the PS 4.5 is the main focus and the PS4 just sort of second, that's not going to be too good for the people who have the PS4, and they won't be very happy with that. So I'm pretty sure Sony will figure something out and work with the companies of the games and make sure that even the people on the PS4 will have a decent experience, just like the people on the new console that's coming out. Okay, now I'm going to move on to specifications. Now, there's not much in terms of here. They're pretty unclear at the moment, but there is a couple things. So the graphics processing unit, or the GPU, is apparently going to be twice as powerful as the one that's in the PlayStation 4 at the moment, which is pretty cool. And that's why, they're saying it could be for 4K, since it's twice as powerful, maybe, it'll have the power to do 4K. That GPU chip is also apparently going to be smaller, and it's going to run at a higher clock speed. So that's pretty cool. Another thing that's going to be in it is a 4K Blu-ray player. This is just stuff that may be in it. This stuff could be true or it could not be. We don't know until they announce in October. So 4K Blu-ray player, it says that Blu-ray player could upscale non-native 4K games to 4K. This doesn't mean that there will be 4K games running native on the PlayStation 4.5, but they're saying that this is just some information that the Blu-ray player could upscale non-native 4K games to 4K. So yeah, and nothing about the processor at the moment, not much known about that. I'm guessing it will be another 8-core processor, just like in the PS4, except it will be a lot more powerful, because it will need to be more powerful if it's playing 4K games, and as the gaming technology advances, because as the gaming technology advances, things are going to be more reliant on the processor. That processor is going to be needed there, that power is going to be needed. Because the GPU is important, like the graphics processor, but the CPU is also important because you need that to be calculating all the things that are happening. So the processor is important as game technology advances. Okay, so that's pretty much it there. Now, what do I think? Well, I think that it's pretty early to be releasing a new console. It's only been 3 years since the PS4 came out. It's really early. Nothing like the 10-year lifetime of the last generation. But I think it does make sense at the same time because the PS4 is quite underpowered. And I think even though, a lot of people will probably be disappointed by this, maybe they just purchased the PS4, I think Sony is doing the right thing here because they need that new console so they can keep up with all the technology, because the PS4 is going to die out too quick if they just stay with that. So they definitely need to release something new. So there's not much known about whether you can swap the PS4 for like a PS 4.5, like a swap kind of thing, like pay some cash and then give the PS4 and then get the PS 4.5, something like that. I don't know. There's not much in terms of that. Pricing, I'm not too sure whether it will be the same price as when the PS4 came out, because I mean, if they're aiming at 4K, then I'm guessing it'll cost a bit more. Hopefully not too much more, because I mean, if it costs a lot of money, then people aren't going to be buying it, because the consoles are supposed to be there so anyone can access them. I mean, they do cost a lot of money, a couple $100, it's not cheap. But, they're a lot more accessible than computers. I mean, if you want a really good gaming computer, it could cost you up to $1,000. But I know you can build computers for less money than that. But I mean, if you want, a real good experience, I mean, you're gonna pay probably at least $1,000. So, this hopefully, the price is still good. Now, upscaled 4K, that's what I think will happen. I don't think it will run at native 4K because, at the price, for the price, it's not going to be able to do native 4K because I don't think it's going to be $1,000 console because no one will buy it. So it'll have to be, around the same price, maybe just a little bit more than when the PS4 came out. So they're not going to be able to spend that much money on the internals to be able to do native 4K. So I'm fairly sure it'll be upscaled 4K because it would just cost way too much to put the internals in such a small package to put native 4K out and still sell it at a good price like the PS4 came out. They're not going to be able to do that. So I'm guessing it's going to be upscaled 4K, which I mean, yeah, it's not the best, but it's okay. It's a lot better than full HD upscaled. It's a lot better than that. And when you're sitting away from the screen, like quite far away from the TV, maybe not too far, but further than when you're out at a computer. So you're not going to be able to notice it that much, and it will look really good. It'll still look really good, but it's not native. I'm pretty sure it won't be native, but it'll look really good. And one more thing, better 1080p gaming. That's another thing that I'll think that the PS4.5 will be really good at. 1080p gaming at 60 FPS. I reckon this PlayStation will be able to do it. The PlayStation 4.5 will be great for this. They've needed to do this for a long time. The PlayStation 4 should have been doing 1080p. At least 1080p through all the games. It wouldn't matter if it was 60 FPS or not, but it should have been doing 1080p at least. But a lot of the games, good AAA games, aren't running at full HD. They should have been. So hopefully this new one, I mean, if it's aimed at 4K, it should be able to do 1080p just fine. So hopefully it'll, have the capability of doing 1080p gaming at 60 FPS, because that is such a great experience. 1080p 60 FPS is great, nice and smooth, it looks great. Since the extra powers in this new console will be able to have better graphics, so it'll be overall better experience. Last thing, will I be getting it? Probably not. I don't know, maybe. I want to see what it's like before, I say, oh yeah, I'll go buy it. I want to see what it's like first. So I'll look around, find out what happens when it comes out and see what it's like. But probably not. I'm quite happy with my computer at the moment. I've used to be full-on console gamer. I got the PlayStation 1, 2, and 3. I never got the PS4. I've really enjoyed the PC game in the last couple of years. I've only sort of just gotten into PC gaming properly in the last couple of years. I was a full-on console gamer for ages. So yeah, I think I'll stick with the PC at the moment because I just got a new graphics card, GTX 970, and that is doing quite well for me. I play at 1080p most of the time, and that is just great. So it's going to last for a while yet before I'll need to upgrade. So yeah, I don't know. I might get it. I don't know. I'll see how it looks. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this new console. If you enjoyed the video, if you thought it was helpful, make sure to smack that like button. And subscribe if you enjoy my content. It really helps. I really appreciate it. Leave a comment down below. What do you think about the new console? Yeah, tell me what you think. Alright, so yeah. Catch you in the next video, guys. Have a wonderful day. See ya.